Today's video is brought to us by MagTech Ammunition. Whether I'm shooting rifle or pistol, if I'm on the range training, MagTech Ammunition is along for the ride.
Here's a third lesson. Carry your stinking gun. I really mean this because, I am friends with a guy named Greg Ellifritz, and Greg is one of the premier trainers in America today, national expert. I've trained under him. And Greg is also a police officer in a north suburb of Columbus, Ohio, an affluent suburb. And he pulls people over every day because, people do stupid things on the road. And in Ohio is a must-inform state. So if you have a concealed carry permit and if you are carrying, you must inform the officer that you have a permit and that you're carrying. So pulls people over. Hi, officer, I have a concealed carry permit. Great, let me see your permit. Let me see your driver's license. He runs all their stuff. He always asks them, are you carrying your firearm? Any guess to what percentage of people that he has asked over the last 5 years who are actually carrying their firearm? 30%. So 30? 15%. Now, Greg, being a good citizen that he is, admonishes that 85%. Why are you not carrying your gun? I'm not going to be there to save you on that day. You need to carry, you have the right to carry a firearm in the state of Ohio, and you need to exercise that right. Why are you not carrying your gun? Well, it's hard, and I don't like to. My gun, I haven't shot it. Carry your gun. I will be honest with you. I am not, completely indefensible. I am not the world's greatest gunfighter, but I do not want to go home to Jesus and him go, where was your gun, bro? I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all. I mean, I can be killed. There's no question about that, but I at least want the guy that kills me to say, man, that guy was hard to kill. I at least want a chance in the fight. Tom Givens is the owner of Rangemaster, and Tom has certified instructors for 20 some odd years now. I'm one of his master firearms instructors. And his students, so not only instructors, but the people who came to him for classes, have been in 67 use of force incidences. 67 defensive shootings of his students. His students are 64, 0, and 3. 64 wins, no losses, 3 forfeits. 3 people left their gun home on the day they needed it and died. All of them complied, all of them shot and killed. Now, I'm not trying to scare you, and I don't try to make a living on fear. But if you have the right to carry a firearm and you don't, I think you're wrong. Now, that said, I think there's more to life than just carrying a firearm. I think carrying a firearm is great, but I carry other tools as well. Because there are plenty of situations that somebody don't need to be shot in. One of our employees, Soleil, just this week, in fact, had to OC spray a guy who was getting aggressive to her and her kids. She couldn't have shot him. He wasn't a deadly threat, but he absolutely needed to get the hot sauce. And that solved her problem. But carry your stinking gun. And I know you're like, well, I'm just going to the store real quick. You know the most likely place you're going to get mugged? The convenience store. Well, it's kind of a pain, John, because, it's uncomfortable to carry. Figure that stuff out. Buy a better holster, buy a good belt, figure it out. Let us help you. We will certainly help you find the right gear choices. It's one of my big ones. People are like, I can't carry appendix, it's uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, if you don't want to carry appendix, you want to carry strong side, that's fine, perfectly acceptable. But saying appendix carry is uncomfortable is ignorant. It's ignorant. It just means you haven't bought a good holster with a good belt. Straight up. I can still carry an appendix full-size gun, big gun, every day. Stephanie carries a big gun appendix well, you've been carrying the smaller one, right? The SK? Still a pretty big gun, for comparatively speaking. I'm not going to pull the rest of the audience because I don't want to out you. But, big gun, carry your stinking gun. Here's one out of Sacramento, California. Watch this guy, he's pulling his Prius up because California. I know Washingtonians drive Priuses too, it's okay. Okay, he's got a 7-year-old son in the car. Watch there's going to be an old Mercedes that pulls up here and is going to case him. See that old Mercedes? Stolen. It's filled with a bunch of bad guys. They see him and go, food. I'm not saying the Prius had anything to do with that. Now watch them come back around here. And he's getting out of the car. He's got a bunch of electronics equipment in his bag and those things. Dude sees him getting out with his bag and has a gun. Hey, give it up, man. And notice he throws his wallet on the ground. But the guy's like, hey, don't throw your stuff back in there. I want your wallet. I want your iPhone. I want your stuff. Notice his little boy. Dangerous time? Now, I'm not saying that he necessarily, if he even had a gun, it would have been the right thing to shoot that guy or whatever. He would have had to have a high level of skill. But do you think him having a gun would have made that worse? Nope. Would have given him a chance. Sacramento County, by the way, I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but in California it's illegal to have a gun. It's actually not true. CCW permits are county by county down there, and Sacramento County Sheriff is completely 100% pro Second Amendment and issues 100% of applicant permits. Sacramento County is 100% on permits. So it all depends on your county. Okay? That's the first one. Next one. One of the most famous videos on the channel. This one out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Okay, there's a bunch of moms and kids out here because if you look real here, this is the 5th of May, and they have a Mother's Day celebration for moms. And so they invited all the moms to school, and the moms are all sitting outside here because they haven't opened the doors to the school yet. What you're going to see here real quick is a mom come up here and start telling people that this dude is walking down the street and mugging people. Welcome to Brazil. Okay? People say, why is Brazil's about 23% of the channel content of active self-protection. The U.S. is 46. But people say, why is Brazil so violent? Very simple formula. When you have high population density combined with high poverty, combined with strict gun control, you get high crime. Simple, period, end of subject. You get violence in those environments. So a lot of times here in the U.S., we get this discussion, and I see this all the time. It kind of disgusts me on the channel about racial demographics in violence in America. They don't control for socioeconomic status in America. When you combine high population density with poverty, what do you get? You get crime, you get violence against each other. Well, when we do that here in the U.S., what do we have? Where do we have high population density and high poverty? In the projects. And then guess who is in the projects? Black Americans. And that's a whole socioeconomic thing and a backstop of that. So let's be better than that, okay? So understand what that is. But, so what's going to happen here is he's going to come up and start mugging people. But one of these ladies is actually an off-duty Brazilian police officer. So you see, everybody's just having fun. It's great. Look at all the kids. This is wonderful. Now, see here looking like, what's going on? Because this lady's coming and saying, hey, that dude's mugging people. Now, he's going to actually show up this way. You're going to see him come around here and have a gun. Yep, I want all your wallets. Now, she is the one who's like, nah, I have a gun too. Shot him 3 times. Kicked his gun away from him. Almost got ran over in the process. It's going to hold him there. He didn't make it. She was actually elected to the Brazilian legislature over this. I'm not joking. This went viral in Brazil. She was lauded by all the people for saving everybody. I know, look, at anything will work if you'll work it, right? She's shooting a Taurus 40 cal. But it worked. Great, good for her. It only has to work for the first 3, the 3 rounds she shot him with, and it did. I know the owner of Taurus Firearms personally, and I give him a hard time about his guns all the time. Sir, I think the best solution there is to end that threat as quickly as you can, and the fastest way to end that threat is to make him regret his life choices. Now, that's a very personal decision, but anybody pointing a gun at me and mine that's their problem and their threat. And the best, in my opinion, thing to do is to find my first opportunity to make that threat stop now. And you say, well, wait a minute, there are kids around, and is that dangerous? Well, the danger started the second he showed up with a gun, and don't miss. So I do think a lot of Americans carry firearms that honestly shouldn't. Not that I think the government should ever say that, but you got to ask the question, do I have enough skill to do what I need to do and not cause unnecessary danger to others? And that's a very personal question to ask. We're going to ask it a bunch tomorrow.